Health experts are working to identify the close contacts of the young people who visited a nightclub at the center of a deadly meningitis outbreak to come forward. This comes after the number of cases rose in the past 24 hours from 15 to 20. Two young people have died as a result. The deceased are a 21-year-old university student and an 18-year-old high school student. Meningitis is a potentially deadly infection affecting the protective membrane surrounding the brain and spinal cord. A partly cloudy Thursday with isolated showers and thundershowers in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Temperatures will drop to overnight lows of between 14 and 16 degrees and peak at highs of between 25 and 28 degrees. Loluthando Ngeno, Eyewitness News.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app. Comfort ends where Marawa Sports Worldwide begins.
The final whistle and Senegal seal the sensational success. Sadio Mane becomes only the third player ever to win multiple AFCON titles to go along with multiple CAF African Men's Player of the Year awards. He's in a league of his own with Roger Milla and Samuel Eto'o.
If it's shaking sport, we are already on it.
I must just bring you some breaking news that's reaching us regarding the Africa Cup of Nations final, which was a full 58 days ago. It was absolutely chaotic at the end. Senegal won it. Pape Gueye's extra time goal.
Pape Gueye! Sensational! Stellar! Supreme Senegal! Maybe in extra time they've reduced the moment.
Sealing a second AFCON title for Senegal, but there was chaotic scenes you might recall at the end of normal time when the Senegal players walked off the pitch and Brahim Diaz missed a penalty for Morocco in the 24th minute of injury time.
Underway again, Brahim Diaz to give Morocco the lead, chips Panenka down the middle and humiliatingly Mendy saves it.
Senegal won the Africa Cup of Nations.
Senegal score their first ever goal in an Africa Cup of Nations final.
58 days later, the news now is that final result has been overturned and Morocco have been declared winners of the Africa Cup of Nations with a 3-0 scoreline. The Confederation of African Football Appeal Board stripping Senegal of that title after they walked off the pitch for more than 10 minutes.
#MSW.
The bigger point is this: CAF is an embarrassment. When you look at the whole situation, everything, it's an embarrassment. There's always been a stigma against the continent Africa and African football, and we've had conversations about AFCON not being taken serious for many years, and it's a tournament that seems to be a thorn to some European managers who have come out and publicly said that they might not sign African players because they don't want to lose them for the January window. There's been other players, other managers, top managers who've made comments about African Cup of Nations and being a burden to them as a manager.
Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM, Rise FM and Sowetan Live.
Well, it has been a dramatic past 24 hours with all of this news that we woke up to or maybe went to sleep in because we're in the middle of watching the UEFA Champions League and then boom, the news really rocked the football world. So we'll try and break it all down right here on #MSW. Would love to know what your thoughts are. because you've had enough time to digest what is happening. Maybe it kind of feels like we're in a dream, doesn't it? It is hashtag MSW Marawa Sports Worldwide, proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
Let's go!
The moments you remember. The games you can't forget. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
The decision he take to leave MCLJ, I don't think it was a wise decision. He chose money over football now. I'm really bit worried about Rulani now. I'm little bit worried.
The story about Rulani, is it true? And it seems right now he's no longer, passionate about the free football. He's only passionate about the money.
And we're talking about one of the most talked about coaches on the continent right now, and that's Coach Rulani Mokwena. Some people alluding to the fact that Rulani was being motivated for your decision by money.
I worked in Wydad 8-9 months without a salary rope. I am not moved by money. Believe me, there was a lot more on the table than just the financial perks, and people don't even know possibility to do more, to stretch myself more. I know what being loyal to a football club, not once, not twice, but 3 times. I know what being loyal to a football club has gotten me.
Hashtag MSW.
Hashtag MSW.
Wednesday nights, soccer nights, your nights.
Right, while we try and wait for the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture to get on the line, let me quickly remind you of what's happening in and around the world of sport, and especially UEFA Champions League. Another big night tonight with Barcelona taking on Newcastle. You got Bayern Munich also up against Atalanta. Liverpool up against Galatasaray. They play the hosts tonight, Liverpool. And also Tottenham Hotspurs hosting Atletico Madrid. So which way is it going to swing? No idea. It's going to be a very tough one indeed. Golden Arrows, though, from the local front on the Bedway Premiership are going to be locking horns with Stellenbosch. That's a Golden Arrows home game. And Stellenbosch obviously wanting to move further up on that log table. Has been one of those stuttering starts to a season from them. Yeah, but a very disappointing night last night, Chelsea fans?
It's not an admission. It's a reality of where the group are. They've played over 100 games in 18 months. They've had no break in terms of the international games, the travelling that, say, João Pedro, Enzo Fernandez and Moi Caicedo do to South America. It's not an excuse. This is a byproduct of success of the Club World Cup, and it's a great thing that the club achieved at the Club World Cup. But you're seeing with Reece, you're seeing with players that if I don't manage their minutes, their likelihood of getting injured is increased very highly. So I want us to make sure we're in this competition next season as a minimum. We're still fighting for an FA Cup, but I have to make maybe really difficult decisions that at the time probably don't look great. To be honest, you never want to take off your best players when you're 5 goals down in a tie, but I want to make the right decisions for the football club in the long term as well. It's my job is to assess the group all of the time. What I'm learning is that you have to have players that in every moment you can rely on to make correct decisions defensively and not switch off. But it's also to be they're clinical. They were clinical in both games. Clinical shots from outside the box. That's the level, and we need to make sure we get there.
All right, important information coming through from the club coach Rosinho, admitting though that fatigue has been a major factor for his squad after that relentless schedule, but also stressing the need though to manage minutes wisely and build for the future. He also added that the defeat highlighted the importance of consistency and clinical finishing if Chelsea are to return to Europe's elite level. But as I've mentioned, another big night for Bayern Munich. Their head coach Vincent Kompany urging his side not to underestimate Atalanta in tonight's Champions League round of 16 second leg, despite that emphatic 6-1 win in the first leg. Kompany saying that the focus must remain on performance rather than the past result, stressing though that Bayern are prepared to sacrifice a lot more to ensure that they head into the international break with momentum.
The second game is always more difficult because especially now as a coach, you realize even more how important it is to put the focus on, like, to be honest, I don't want to be talking about the first game. I don't care. It's over. It's a club that doesn't like to lose. So that's the biggest guarantee I have on performance, not result, but performance, is that I know the players know that. You know, it's much better to go into the international break with 2 wins than not, and we are prepared to sacrifice a lot to achieve that.
But also the Barcelona head coach Hansi Flick says that the teenager Lamine Yamal could be the difference as the Catalans prepare to face Newcastle in the second leg of the UEFA Champions League last 16 tie at the Camp Nou tonight. Well, the first leg ended 1-1 after Yamal's late penalty in England, and Flick believes that his side's motivation and preparation will be crucial in one of the world's biggest competitions.
Of course, Lamine is a player who can make the difference. And for me, yesterday was a fantastic training from him, but also from the team, also today. So you can see that Champions League is a little bit about. For me, is one of the best competition in the world, and for everyone wants to play there, and it's an extra motivation for every player. They are able to press very high, man to man, but also defend very well in the last third in the defense. So it will be a tough game tomorrow. So it's also to the team, because it's a physical team. It's they are very aggressive, man to man, but also in transition they are fast players. So we have to play our perfect game tomorrow. This is important, and we try to do this.
Well, the Newcastle United manager Eddie Howe says that his side are confident and ready. Howe admits, though, that the tie is one of the biggest games of his career, but insists, though, that Newcastle are treating it like any other, with strong recent performances giving the team belief as they look to upset the Spanish giants.
It probably is, but it's not something I've not given any time to, because it's another game. It's the process that you go through before each game is the same, regardless of where you're playing, regardless of the size of the competition. We try to do the same things. We try to treat every game as if it is a Champions League final, without using cliches. So we'll do the work in the same way. We prepare in the same way. Yes, we're in a different environment, one we've never been to before. We'll enjoy the game when it comes, but we'll only truly enjoy it if we deliver what we know we need to deliver, and I think we're in a good place to do that. I think the players are probably as confident as they've been at any stage this season. With our recent performances, I think have been really strong. The individuals within our team are performing at a really high level as well. That hasn't always been the case this season. So hopefully we're peaking at the right time, but we need everything to go our way tomorrow. We know how good Barcelona are. We don't underestimate the size of the task, but we believe in ourselves at the same time.
Well, he says that his side are in a strong place, though, both on and off the pitch. He believes that the confidence that's been gained from their recent win over Chelsea has lifted the squad, the unity, the momentum, giving Newcastle the best possible chance to deliver against the Spanish giants tonight.
I think you have to be optimistic. I think you have to be positive, and that's why the Chelsea result and performance was so important. We proved to ourselves that we can keep clean sheets, that we can defend our goal really well. That feeling of winning that we've taken into this game, the atmosphere the last couple of days around the training ground has been really strong. There's a real unity as well, I feel, between the players at the moment. I think we're as good a place as we've been at any stage this season, both on and off the pitch. So I think we had to be in this position to give ourselves the best chance. And now we've just got to go and deliver.
Lots of pressure on Liverpool, hey? Their manager Arne Slot saying that his side will rely on the Anfield atmosphere as they look to overturn that 1-0 deficit against Galatasaray in the Champions League last 16 second leg tonight. So the Reds have already beaten the giants like Real Madrid as well as Atletico Madrid at home in recent seasons. And Slot believes that hard work combined with the support of the fans can help Liverpool edge past the Turkish champions in what promises to be a very, very tight encounter.
Now that's something we have to show tomorrow if there's any impact between playing at home or away. This season and history has shown that we are even stronger at home than we are away. But we completely deserve to be in this round of 16 for all the things we've done well in the Champions League. We've beaten Real Madrid here, we've beaten Atletico Madrid here, we've beaten Inter Milan, Olympique Marseille. So we can look at the goal we conceded against Tottenham and say, "Oh, everything is going against us." Or we say we deserve to be here, and we are having a chance to qualify for the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Against a very good team we are facing, that not only beat us twice because they played at home, also because they have a good team, but both games were really tight. Details decided that game, and we are going to work extremely hard, combined with our fans, to make sure that these details are now in our favor, and not, as the last time showed, in the favor of the home team, Galatasaray.
Slot says that his side will embrace the pressure and insists, though, that he has never felt alone at the club thanks to the support of the fans, the staff and family. Believes that the atmosphere at Anfield can help the Reds overturn their first leg deficit to reach the quarterfinals.
We always feel we have the support of the fans, so that indeed means that we never feel that we walk alone, and we will not feel that tomorrow as well. And sometimes as a manager you feel this after you've lost and you walk in. You do sometimes feel a bit alone, but players in the training, staff members and supporters and family members are then always there to support you the first minutes after a game. And I've never felt alone over here, not 1 minute since I'm here. Of course I feel pressure. We all feel pressure because we are in an industry where every single day you're in this industry there's pressure. So and we're working at a beautiful club with a great history, and we feel this, and we can achieve the quarterfinals of the Champions League. So that comes with pressure, but it's also nice to have that pressure because we could have also been out or playing at a lower level or not even be in. So we embrace this pressure, and we're looking forward to playing Galatasaray tomorrow.
So exciting football to look forward to tonight in the UEFA Champions League. It's at that critical stage, though, that somebody has to bow out. Well, back to the domestic side of things, though. When I say back to the domestic side, the continent has obviously been shaken by this news about the appeal board and their decision to now crown Morocco as the Africa Cup of Nations in this unprecedented ruling, overturning Senegal's victory 2 months, from the time of the final. That's 58 days later. I mean, how do you rework emotion? And that's one of the things that I was talking about just the other day with regards to VAR and how that also just takes away what football was always supposed to be about, the immediacy. So what, you take the medals back, you take the trophy back, you imagine that the ticker tape parade that happened in the streets there down in Senegal was just a dream. It never happened. And then you go and award. Was this trophy not, engraved on? Will you scratch that off? And then how does this whole thing work? I mean, I've been told that later on today, the president of CAF, Patrice Motsepe, is going to be releasing a statement on this matter. I'm surprised no statement has come out yet as the sun sets on a full day of drama. But I can lift a quote that's come through from football tweets from Sadio Mane on the Confederation of African Football taking AFCON away from Senegal. He says, and I quote, "What happened went way too far. This is not the football that we fight for, nor the Africa that we believe in. There is too much corruption in our game, and that's killing the passion of millions of fans across the continent. Players give it their all on the field, but decisions taken offered decide the matches and the trophies. I am deeply disappointed, not just for Senegal, but for the African football as well. We deserve better. Fans deserve fairness, transparency, and respect. End quote. That's from the man that lifted the trophy itself, Sadio Mane, the man that brought sanity into this entire saga, where he went and called his teammates back from the dressing room. So how on God's green earth does this happen, or gets allowed to happen? If indeed, yes, they will go and appeal to Kaz, and I'm sure Kaz will take the rightful decision, mainly to restore whatever little pride is left within CAF as well as the Africa Cup of Nations.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
Water is a precious and limited resource that we all depend on. Johannesburg Water continues to strengthen the city's water network through improved turnaround times for leak repairs, pressure management, and infrastructure upgrades to improve system reliability. But water conservation is a shared responsibility. Residents can help by fixing household leaks, turning off taps, taking shorter showers, and using water wisely. Every drop saved helps. Brought to you by Johannesburg Water, a water and sanitation utility that cares.
Oh my word, Natasha. Girl, I just got my nails done, and guess who I saw with insufficient airtime?
Air for flair with juicy gossip to share? Trust Air Mobile to help get you there. You can stay ahead of the curve with Air Mobile's auto top-up feature and make free air-to-air calls. That means you can catch up with your Air Mobile friends or call grandma like you promised without worrying about the bill. airmobile.co.za. Seriously different. T's and C's apply.
Natasha? Natasha, are you even listening?
That's how you know you're too extra.
You are always first on that team's call, giving your care to middle name, taking a jog to the gym. That's how you know you're too extra. Doing a vlog about doing a vlog, wearing a GoPro at an interview, commenting wow on your own post. That's how you know you're too extra. Walking to the DJ to request a song, sending SMSs in italics, phone calls on a watch without earphones. That's how you know you're too extra.
In life, it's easy to be a bit too extra. But the Soul Man load-up meal with a burger, soul fries, a cold drink, and 2 extra hot wings is just enough extra. Chicken Licken, soul food.
Gamers, this one's for you. Unlock lightning-fast home connectivity and get your Vodacom 5G home router with 400 gigs and 20 megabits per second download speed for just $749 per month over 36 months. Plug and play instantly. Plus, get a Nintendo Switch 2 worth $12,449. Game online, stream, connect, all in one deal. Exclusive to Vodacom World. Limited stock. Visit us today. T's and C's apply. Further together, Vodacom.
How's it, Doff? How's it, Savvy? Why are you sitting in your driveway all by your lonesome, Doff? Selling my car, Sav. I don't trust the internet. I like to wheel and deal my own wheels. That's how you make way more, Sav. Okay, so where's your car now, Doff? Potential buyers took it for a test drive. When did they take it for a test drive, Doff? 3 days ago. Should have sold it to We Buy Cars, Doff. Yeah, Savvy.
Don't be Doff, be savvy. We Buy Cars, geared for a fast, safe sale, geared for you.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
We know all about money, but I think I'm not sure about the move. People come dangling a carrot, he takes it.
He chose money over football now. I'm really bit worried about Rulani now. I'm little bit worried.
And we're talking about one of the most talked about coaches on the continent right now, and that's Coach Rulani Mokwena. Coach, the issue of arrest, I mean, is that something that was blown out of proportion?
We were on our way to Istanbul, and it was myself and 3 other staff members. I felt a little bit guilty that I was the only one on business. Cut a very long story short, we got to the counter and then we were told we could only pay cash. We we then tried to get some cash to pay, and that was the scenario. But I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can steal or steal your salary or money that you've worked very, very hard. And for 9 months, you've worked very, very hard for.
They see me rolling, they hating.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW. No protection. No PR spin.
And they put the multi and they put the multi.
Just accountability.
You. Ay. They can't even talk anymore.
Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947. Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live.
Hey, Robinho. Indeed, it feels like most of us were dreaming, but it was not a dream. It was true, Marawa. And Marawa, first of all, this decision, is going to change. It's a game changer for African football, because that appeal board, starting from this decision that they take, they are going to have more of those type of appeals, more especially when it comes to CAF Champions League and CAF Confederation game, because we know that there it's chaos after chaos. So I think it will be appeal after appeal. But overall, in this decision, Marawa, I think they took a correct decision. Senegal won on the field of play, but Morocco won in boardroom. Let's see, Robert. Let's see, Marawa.
Good evening, Mr. Marawa, to the Marawa faithful. Robert, Africa again in the limelight for the wrong reasons. We have a tournament now, finished for about 2 months, and we come back and we remove silverware that has been granted to a team for 2 months. Is the rule not that the referee has the last say? So if the referee has made a decision on game day, and we have passed that, and we've passed 24 hours after the game, we've passed more than 48 hours after the game, and then we make a decision. This is again, it's making African football look crazy. It looks like we don't know what we're doing. If you're wrong, then, and unfortunately, it's months ago, it happened, we try to fix the future, but to go back and to try and fix something that it's 2 months past, I would like to know what the thinking was. If that was the rule book, then 24 hours later, the rule book comes in and we give the rule and we make a decision. During the game, we make a decision, but now we make a decision 2 months later. Sometimes African football and the people that run it, it makes us look very, very unserious, Robert. Thank you, Cheslin here.
Good evening, Rob. While CAF's ruling may be unpopular, I fully welcome the decisive decision. A national team cannot walk out of the field and be rewarded with a championship accolade. My only concern is that why the match was not declared or forfeited immediately when the incident occurred. And for Morocco to be declared the champions on that day, and why it took such a long time between the day in which the final stage and the day in which this outcome was reached. And for me, the CAF leadership had foresight that something of this nature might materialize, and that's why we have that ruling in the CAF regulations that the club that walks out of the field will be sanctioned with that match being forfeited. The rules are there to be observed and respected by nations. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much indeed. I hear you loud and clear, and I think I hear the other, Cheslin, also one of the voice notes. I hear you loud and clear, guys. All I'm saying is that football, right or wrong, that's why there are laws and rules. You walk off, there's consequences. But a referee's decision is final. And if we go according to the letter of the law, and he can correct me in a few minutes if I am outside of the realm of the law in just a few minutes' time, Raymond Hack is going to be chatting to us, then the referee, yes, there was a stage and we all witnessed it. Everybody was in shock. What's going on? Why are they walking off? Is that the referee had a meeting with both of the parties and a decision was then undertaken that the game will continue. So the match was restarted. And then the game was played to its conclusion and there was an outcome. There was a result. So suspension of play followed by an abandonment. How do we weigh up those two things? Is it wholly wrong to walk off? Of course. But that is why it's covered in the laws or even in the conditions of play under the competition rules. It is covered there. But my biggest thing is that I would love to have seen what the match commissioner's report said. Because yes, the referee plays a part, but for me, the match commissioner equally plays a part and is responsible as well. Because Law 5 allows, the referee to stop, suspend, and also to terminate a match for whatever reason. So he had suspended the game, then found a solution, and they restarted the game and completed the match. That for me is what counts. But let's take it a step further, though, because we want to go about this the right way. Speculative has never been our forte here. I suppose the 2025 AFCON final, a night that had everything. I mean, you go back to the tension, the disruption, the controversy, the disappointment, and now it's taken a major turn. So it unraveled after that decisive moment. The players leaving the pitch, protests from the bench, ball boys caught in the chaos. And those are also some of the things, they've reduced the fines on the ball boys. And that for me was a major thing. And guess who was awarded fair play of the tournament award? Guess who? What was that fair play for? If the ball boys were doing what they were doing. Yes, there was scenes, there was chaos. So that is why tonight Africa is asking a very simple question. Was this justice or has football changed in the corridors of power? And to help us break all of this down legally as well as from a structural perspective, we are joined by a man who is well versed in the inner working of CAF's disciplinary processes, a former CAF disciplinary committee chairman, a respected arbitrator at the Court of Arbitration for Sport, as well as current chairman of the PSL DC, Mr. Raymond Hack. Raymond, good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening, Robert, and good evening, listeners.
I'm sure it's been a busy day for you, moving from one interview to another, but let's shoot straight into this. I mean, is this something that you've ever encountered before? How does the world respond to a decision like this?
Well, firstly, you've got to look at the decision. This was a decision made by the appeal board, and they based their decision on Article 82. Which said that if the team goes off the field of play without the authority of the referee, Article 84 comes into play. But they didn't read Article 84 too well, because Article 84 says the team which contravenes the provisions of Article 82 and Article 83 will be eliminated from the competition. It doesn't say the provisions of Article 82 or 83. It says Article 82 and 83. And that's where they award the 3 points or the 3-0 score. Senegal did not in any way do anything wrong as far as Article 83 is concerned. But the point that they are all missing is the referee's decision in terms of Article 6 of the CAF disciplinary code is final. So when is final? If you look in terms of the IFAB rules, whether it be 5.2, which talks about the referee, the game is finished when the referee blows the whistle for it being finished. What happened in this particular game is that a penalty was awarded to Morocco in the last minute of the game. The Senegalese players protested and they walked off the field. They shouldn't have walked off the field. There's no dispute as far as that is concerned. The referee did not blow for the end of the game. The Moroccan players did not go up to the referee and say to him, listen, in terms of Article 82, they've walked off the field. We are now the champions. Blow your whistle. He didn't do that. He allowed the team to come on. They took a penalty, Morocco. They missed the penalty. They then go into the extra time playoff. At no stage did they go to the referee and say, okay, we will take the penalty. We will go into extra time if need be under protest. Had they said that we are going under protest, then you can deal with it, that the referee may have not done the correct decision or something like that. But that was never done. They allowed the game to be finished. The referee blew the whistle and Senegal won the game. That is the end of the story. That is where it should have ended. The disciplinary committee, in my view, gave the right decision. The fact that the appeal board can now turn around and say, no, we're invoking Article 84. Well, you must read Article 84. The difference between and or is very, very big. In any event, the final say is the referee when he blows the whistle. The fact that you go and reduce the fine imposed on Morocco for laser is laughable, because the rule is very clear. You are not allowed lasers. It is a penalty in terms of the rules, whether it's one laser or 10 lasers or 1,000 lasers. The question is very simple. Were there lasers in the stadium? Yes or no? If it's yes, then you are guilty. If it's no, you're not guilty. The fact that the ball boys, their sanction is reduced. Did the ball boys go beyond their rights by pulling the towel away from the goalkeeper? Yes, that's not in the spirit of the game. Article 5.2 talks about the spirit of the game. That is not in the spirit of the game. So how you can even consider reducing the fine with due respect, in my opinion, is laughable. And what everyone is forgetting, and maybe the appeal board didn't take into account, there are precedents in this regard. Go back to 1976, when Guinea played Morocco. Morocco walked off the field of play. They then came back onto the field of play. It wasn't the game wasn't abandoned. You had this in the CAF Champions League for the clubs, where Wyatt did the same thing. And the Court of Arbitration ruled the referee's decision is final, irrespective of what the rules say. If the referee says the game is finished, he blows his whistle, that's the end of the story. But what they are all forgetting is the damage that has been done to African football's reputation as a result of this hullabaloo, or circus as people are referring it to at the moment. We should never be looked at in that way. There is nothing wrong with African football. We have 6 teams in the World Cup. All the European teams have players from Africa. So we have the ability, we have the players, we have the infrastructure. Why keep on talking about how bad CAF is and everything? Dr. Botsepi has tried very hard, as have the CAF officials, to try and improve the image of CAF. You had a great tournament when Cote d'Ivoire played Nigeria. You had a great tournament. Yes, there were problems between Morocco and Senegal, but it was still the showpiece of African football. Now it's been reduced to an absolute laughingstock. Why? Because people want to put their own views of what the referee should do. If you want to say the referee is no longer in charge of football, then you don't need to have a referee. Then you can have anybody doing it. But if you want to go in terms of what the spirit and what the rules should be, then you have to observe the rules of the game. And the rules are very simple. The referee is the only person in charge of the game on the field. And when he blows the whistle, that's the end of the game. Anything that happens before doesn't come into the final decision.
I think that is loud and clear. Because a lot of people were saying, is there ambiguity between Articles 82, 83, and 84? And could that work in Senegal's favor on appeal? So that's a key question. But I just want to read out Article 84, because and I 100% agree with you, Raymond, is that they've applied it incorrectly. And what Article 84 says is that the team which contravenes the provisions of Articles 82 as well as 83 shall be eliminated for good from the competition. This team will lose its match by 3-0 unless the opponent has scored a more advantageous result at the time when the match was interrupted. In this case, this score will be maintained. The organizing committee may adopt further measures. So Senegal did not contravene 82 at all. They've misread it. They've applied the wrong article here. So after the break, though, Raymond Hack and I will continue with the conversation. New Adams will join us as well.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
Women, there are things you never saw coming, like no more load shedding or listening to Maskandi in English. Or your crush liking your post from last year. Hey, you know what else you never saw coming? Burger King selling fried chicken. You never expected it, nah? Yeah. Zanzi, Burger King is now serving juicy, crispy fried chicken. Never expected it, nah?
Some moments are personal. Some spaces are professional. All of them deserve care. At Frond and Filigree, we create handcrafted floral experiences for life's meaningful moments and the places where they happen. From birthdays and anniversaries to hotels, offices and events, our bespoke arrangements are designed with artistry and intention. Because when flowers are done right, they elevate every moment. Visit frondandfiligree.co.za.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Mambo Storage and Home Song. A 1, a 2, a 3, 4, 5.
A little bit of growing of young minds, a little bit of kids' toys of all kinds, a little bit of love and learn and play, a little bit of balloons on their birthday. At Mambo Storage and Home, you'll find educational toys, arts and crafts, and loads of goodies for kids' birthday parties. Mambos.co.za. Make your home your happy zone.
When it comes to medical aid, we often only hear the bad news.
Another bill!
But at BestMed, we're about the good news. The relief in finding the right medication. The joy when that weird pain stops. Yippee! And the smile that comes with getting good news. This year, BestMed is bringing you one of the lowest contribution increases among South Africa's top medical schemes. BestMed, personally yours. Visit bestmed.co.za. BestMed Medical Scheme is an authorized FSP.
Are corporate strategy sessions, family commitments, and fitness pursuits draining you? Stay on top of your game with the world's #1 nutritional supplement drink, Ensure Gold. With HMB and triple protein, it provides 20 essential vitamins and minerals and is clinically proven to boost energy, build muscle, and support immunity. Why settle when you can go for gold? Get the daily strength you need from Ensure Gold. Available at all leading supermarkets and pharmacies. Ensure, the strength experts.
Ever had that moment in the teeth? That familiar little jolt when your favorite ice-cold drink hits? When a simple pleasure suddenly makes you wince? That's tooth sensitivity. But living with that daily discomfort shouldn't be your familiar. Sensodyne Repair and Protect toothpaste is here to change that. It's an effective way to block that pain. It builds a protective layer, shielding those exposed nerves so you can truly enjoy those everyday moments again. Dentists recommend it. Find Sensodyne Repair and Protect toothpaste at your nearest store.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
We know all about money, but
he chose money over football now.
And we're talking about one of the most talked about coaches on the continent right now, and that's Coach Rulani Mokwena. That's money you've worked for. That is your salary. It's in your possession. How does it become undeclared foreign currency?
Yeah, but how do I work for a club, get the salary paid, and I still have to declare that I work? I think the public knows that I was the head coach of Mouloudia in Algeria. In terms of the legalities, it was said that the maximum that a foreigner could leave the country with was 5,000. But if you 5,000 times 4 is more or less 20,000, and the money was way less than 20,000. Things were blown completely out of proportion.
#MSW. #MSW.
Senegal, Morocco, Senegal won the African Cup of Nations. Next thing, watching the news yesterday or browsing on the internet, Senegal has been stripped of the title they won. No, guys. What's happening there by CAF? Can someone please explain, Roberto? Nah. Morocco now are the winners. Yeah, politics are everywhere.
Marawa and the team, this is weird because the referee allowed the game to continue and the rule is clear. Had the referee stopped the game before, while they were in the dressing room, then the game would have been fair. Then we would know that it would have been transferred and Morocco would have been awarded the winner. But now the game went on, it completed, and he allowed it, and the referee's decision is final. Hemina Monama, Johannesburg South.
Evening, Mr. Marawa. The game with Senegal and Morocco, that whole game was a very intense game with very many incidences that occurred during the game prior to Senegal walking out. I think the person that failed to control this game is the referee. He is the one to be totally blamed. He could have called this game off at that time with many other incidences happening than to wait for it to get where it got. And he is the one that made the decision that the game must continue after Senegal walked out. Mr. Rawa, I just think that North Africa seems to have an upper hand versus other countries.
All right, Raymond Hack, my guest, a former CAF Disciplinary Committee Chairman, a respected arbitrator at the Court of Arbitration for Sport, and also current Chairman of the PSL Disciplinary Committee. So a perfect man to talk about this issue. And he's pronounced on it before the break, what was done right and what was done wrong. So Raymond, obviously this is headed for CAS right now. What do you think is going to happen here?
Well, firstly, if anybody thinks that this matter is going to be heard by CAS in the next couple of weeks, it's not going to happen. It will probably happen maybe within 6 months. So the cloud still hangs over Africa for the next 6 months because there's no urgency in the matter, number one, because the game is finished. There's no African Cup of Nations in the next few weeks. The players have received the prize money, presumably. They've received their medals. So it's just a question of what's got to happen. But as far as CAS is concerned, what would now happen is Senegal will file a request for arbitration. CAF will be required to respond to that. A deposit will have to be paid in. It will then be given to the administration to determine who the arbitrators would be. Each team has, or each body has the right to choose an arbitrator. If they can't come to an agreement, CAF will choose the arbitrator. It'll probably be a 3-man panel. As to when this will happen, in my opinion, certainly not in the next 6 months.
Jeez, that's a long time, Raymond.
Well, that's how long CAS matters are taken. It's not as if, there's an urgency in the matter, because there is no urgency. The game is finished. The award has been made. The players have got their medals. This was an appeal that was a decision that was overturned by a CAF appeal body against a CAF disciplinary body. The other question I ask is, are you now saying that the people who sit on your disciplinary committee don't have sufficient knowledge to make it? Otherwise, why would you take it on appeal? Morocco have got their reasons for going forward. It's the same way as you're never going to get two lawyers to agree on the same thing. They always have a difference of opinion. That's what makes it interesting. But what everyone is forgetting is the image damage that has been done to CAF as a result of this. Surely if you're going to go on appeal, it should have been done straight away after the decision of the disciplinary came out. You can't tell me that everybody is so busy that they can't get an appeal body to sit in adequate time. The time period is just too much. And, it really pains me that the image of football has been destroyed again.
Raymond, maybe just a very honest final question from me is that if you are still an arbitrator at the Court of Arbitration for Sport, what would your decision be, given the facts that you have in front of you?
If I was dealing with it, my decision would be very clear. The referee is the only person who can bring the game to an end. He brought the game to an end at the end of the extra time, and the winner at the end of extra time was Senegal.
So Senegal remain champions?
Yes.
Raymond, brilliant breakdown as always. Thank you so much indeed for indulging us.
Only a pleasure. All the best. Bye.
Thank you so much. Raymond Hack, the CAF Disciplinary Committee Chairman, and somebody who's been added. I don't know if you know what to say to Nuhu Adams right now, because he joins me. He's somebody who's been following this very, very attentively, like everybody else on the continent. He's an African football correspondent. Nuhu, thank you so much for your time. Good evening.
Good evening, Robert.
You've heard Raymond Hack. Does that now put everything into perspective? Should we shut this call down and go home?
Yeah. The embarrassment has been created already. African football's image has been dented. I think we'll have to leave CAS to decide whatever decision they have. But we have a precedent. In 2019, with that Athletic Club decided not to continue their CAF Champions League final game against Esperance after a referee decision. The CAF disciplinary board decided that match should be replayed. Esperance headed to CAS. CAS decided the decision from CAF was in a bad taste, so they should sit on the case again. They sat on the case again. The trophy remained with Esperance Sportive de Tunis. So, looking at the procedures and how this case has been, I believe Senegal has a strong case going to CAS.
Yeah, the image is the one thing that we are now left with, because the entire world is covering this story, Nuhu. You know this, and everybody has been talking about it because it's unprecedented. You don't have a tournament of this magnitude declare a winner. The referee allows the game to continue. The team of Morocco says, yeah, we'll carry on. We'll go to penalty. We'll do everything that has to be done in the football game. They missed the penalty, and they could have scored, and that would have been declared a winner. It was literally the last kick of the game. But they did what they did. They got the Fair Play Award. I don't know for what, but they did. So for me is, how then do you reverse a decision that you have now decided to reverse from the original decision that was taken?
I think there are so many political undertones about these issues. We've seen how Morocco were disappointed. At some point, they are threatening CAF with certain decisions, not hosting the Women's AFCON and all that. And about a few weeks ago, one ESCO member, I think the FA president of Mauritius Football Association, came out in an interview with our brother, Osasu Abayona. The executive committee member was explicit that CAF was not fair to Morocco. That's where everything started from. So clearly, you could see that there's political undertone in whatever decision the CAF appeal board were going to take. And from the information I've gathered, it is a decision that was planned somewhere along the line. So coming out with this decision, it will surprise many, but some of us, it wasn't a surprise. But I believe the appeals board are aware that when this case goes to CAS, they might resit on the case again.
Yeah, according to Raymond Hack, it's a done deal. Referee did what a referee does. Game was finished. Trophy was handed over. Maybe just a final thought, Nuhu. The Senegalese government has called for an independent international investigation into suspected corruption at CAF, the governing body, after it stripped Senegal off the cup as well. What do you make of this development?
Yeah, this decision actually is going to open a can of worms. A lot of allegations will be coming up. Now, the question people are even asking is that why is the referee not punished? Because it is the referee who took the decisions that has affected the whole of the tournament and the whole of the continent. And where we are today, it is because the referee decided not to act within the laws of the game. Yes, after admitting Senegal players back to the field and to continue the game, at least the players and the coach should have been punished, receiving yellow cards and at least a red card. All of these things were not done. Per the information I have, there were external influence on the referee. Just to save the image of the final, they told the referee, go ahead and officiate the game. Don't give anybody a yellow card. Don't send anybody off. After the final, we'll know what to do. So the Senegal government, they have every right to seek for investigation into alleged corrupt practices within CAF. We can only wait and see what the investigations will bring about.
Sure. New Adams, we have a lot on our plates, my friend. I can tell you that much. This is not a decision that we expected. But to keep up the great work, man. Keep following New Adams on social media, on Twitter, as he joins us on this important conversation. Gayton McKenzie, Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, also joins me. I know limited time, but Gayton, your impressions, what's government saying? Is there an official word given this outcome?
Well, Rob, listen, I just want to start by saying that Senegal, they are the champions and they will remain the champions. We will not allow this travesty of justice and bullying to happen. We are not children. We know what's happening here. Morocco must just accept that they've lost. I was at that game. The referee, they played on after they should never have allowed them to play on. The South African government is going to release a statement, which is me, obviously, as part of the South African government, that we stand by Senegal. And this bullying tactics, you know, Rob, when we grew up, there was always one kid that had a ball. And if you don't pass him the ball, you know, we will all play. All of us know the story. That kid would have the ball. He'll be the owner of the ball. And sometimes he wasn't even that talented, but you have to pass him all the time. Because if you don't, he takes his ball. We are now adults. We can't still be playing those games. The one country wants to keep the ball. And if things don't go their way, they want to leave. South Africa is not a country with no stadiums. We have the stadiums. We have the infrastructure. My message to CAF is don't let Morocco bully you. Because that's exactly what's happening here. We are not scared of them. We are a country that has seen what's happening. But I'm meeting the ministers of many countries this weekend at a Live Golf event. And I will make sure that I bring this matter up. We must bring a joint statement. It is absolute nonsense that we will not stand for. Senegal are the winners.
We are told that the CAF president is going to be releasing a statement later this evening. I'm not sure when exactly. What are you expecting to hear from him? Because now this is on him. This is on his legacy.
Number one, the CAF president cannot be blamed for what is happening, in what happened in the DC committee. Otherwise, it would have been interference. But now, the CAF president will be blamed if he doesn't come out and fix that nonsense. It's now up to him. He cannot risk. We know why AFCON has not happened. We mustn't fool people. It has not happened because the Moroccans were unhappy. And I'm saying it today. I said it a week ago. I said it a month ago. We are willing to host AFCON. We are willing to host all the competitions that is now being used to keep Africa hostage. The CAF president cannot say anything else than saying that he's removing that whole committee that took the decision, and to make sure the powers that he has. This thing must end. Dr. Patrice Motsepe must not mess with his legacy and the good work that he's done in CAF by coming to rubber stamp this nonsense. This is absolute nonsense which we will not allow.
Minister, we'll indulge further. Let's wait and see. Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the golf.
Thank you so much, Robert.
All right, Gayton McKenzie there, the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, saying this is absolute nonsense. I think he mentioned the word about 3 times. That's how strongly he feels about it. And I think that's how strongly everybody feels about it because, yeah, it's not right. We're back again tomorrow. Marawa Sports Worldwide, proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
The thrill, the drama, the action. Play the game again. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets. #MSW.